Why Rat Earp? Welcome back to the podcast. How was trout fishing?
Those trout didn't stand a chance with Rat Earp on the scene.
Oh,
You know better than that, Kevin.
oh. How you feeling about yourself, Why Rat,
Oh,
after a come from behind victory?
well, it was quite the weekend, I'll tell you that. I kind of look at one point. It felt like I was staring Billy in the face at OK Corral, and then it all went to you know where. Things were flying. I looked down at one point, and two of my best shooters, Doc and Virgil, weren't even in the fight. And then the dust settles, and there's some time going by, and it's just me and three guys on the other side. And it didn't look good for old Rat Earp.
It
But you
did
know what?
not.
You know what? It was like me down at the river with Curly Bell and people shooting at me, and they couldn't take me down. All three of them went down, and I was prevailing, and that's just the way it goes.
After this week, I think somebody might say, like, oh, hey, where's Dave at? And I might say, he's down by the river, walking on water.
Walking on water. That's what they say about Rat Earp. So,
Oh,
yep.
Dave, congratulations on the win. Welcome back to Civilization. And I don't know, are you going to keep this on the whole time?
Nope, nope. Well, we got a
Oh,
little business to take care of right here if I can figure it out. Uh, There we go. There we go.
oh,
There we go.
DraftKings. Well,
DraftKings.
Dave, did you see, because you didn't have very much cell service,
So no cell.
did you see that I pinch hit for you and typed up a little league recap on Sunday
Yeah,
evening?
yeah. I was impressed, dude. You know, you're not just here for your looks, are you?
Well, I figured I'd earn my paycheck, and when you got a brother who's down and out and can't be there, it's like, hey, I'm gonna jump in and help out.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
I did not call you coming
no.
back
You
to
said no
beat
way or
Rennie.
something
I
like
said
that.
no
Not a
way.
chance.
I
Yeah. So we did have TV. It was satellite, but no internet, no cell service at this house we were at, and so
man, that's
I
I,
can't remember. This is probably more of a testament to, it's probably not good, but I can't remember the last time I watched a football game without checking scores.
yeah,
Because I couldn't. I I knew he had three people. I couldn't remember the third
yeah.
spot. I knew Montgomery, and I knew that he had put out, the opposite defense as me. Trying to a little trickery there already. Good job. I picked up Tennessee's for Monday night because it's nice to have people going on Monday night, and I had my defense have been, picking has been sucking, and so I thought, Miami's offense sucks, Tennessee's offense sucks, but maybe Miami's offense would suck worse than Tennessee, his defense. And so I picked them. He picks up, but I couldn't remember who his third person was. And so I didn't know until Tuesday morning. And I finally was like, oh, the kicker. And then I was like, oh, kicker. And I remember there was mostly just extra points.
Yeah.
So I thought I had a chance, but I didn't really know the math of it because I couldn't remember how many points was
Yeah.
zero and minuses and pluses. I couldn't remember that. And I couldn't remember, I knew the safety. I couldn't remember if the safety counted, if it was
Yeah.
just going to be 29 points. I didn't know anything until the end, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Well,
Burrows
so
before hose. Sorry about your luck. Christmas
so
in
I
October
uh
for me.
so I was last night I was at dinner with Rennie and Junior and some guys that all grew up and we went to college and kind of high school youth group and stuff, hung out, and so they get together quite a bit. But um Lester from Bright.
I think so.
So
Been a
he
while.
put it together, and so he invited me, and so I went down and grabbed dinner with those guys, and so we were just kind of talking about it a little bit. So we're all chatting. You're not able to see it, but we're all chatting during the Miami game. And, and I'm kind of like, come on, Rennie, like, let's get this thing going. And at the time, there was like several guys, like Junior and Lee and Rennie and myself. Like,
Yeah,
we all needed to do some things, like to like get this thing,
yeah.
put to bed, right? And so I was like, come on, Rennie, like, put this thing to bed. Like, let's get this thing going. And we were all chatting through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, Junior had said, "Hey, I'm going to bed. I'll see how this turns out in the morning." I think he had got the points he needed already, and then Rennie just like stopped texting, and so I just assumed that he had went to bed too. And so we were down at dinner last night. I was talking, and he's like, "No, Rennie watched the entire thing. He was just like getting to the point where like
Oh, it would
silence."
probably be. I probably would have been more. I'm sure I would have been more like on edge if I actually knew what the points were.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well,
Because as
you
soon as he scored, I saw
even
Montgomery
before the
score.
save, so like I mean, even after all that, he had a chance to still win because he had Montgomery, and that game
Okay.
went longer.
Yeah.
But he ended up getting nothing out of Montgomery. But
Well,
when
that first
tennis,
touchdown, all I knew was, well, Montgomery scored a touchdown like in the first quarter or something. Like, well,
yeah,
I'm screwed. You know.
yeah, yeah. So you ended up having plenty of points because Miami got down to 0 because of the safety, and then
Okay.
they went down and scored another touchdown.
Was it already at 0, but by before that last touchdown?
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so.
So that's what I didn't know.
So
I didn't
he
know.
lost 3 points on the, or maybe it was at the, I don't know. He lost 3 points on that. You got 2 points for your defense for the safety. I think they got another sack or something. It's like it just was
Okay.
like it was
Yeah.
going bad.
I see. What I didn't know was whether that last bit took it from 3 to 0.
Yeah. Well, at
And
any
if
point in time,
because if
he could have,
3,
like,
because
Miami could have got
that's
a pick six or something. Like anything could have
yeah.
happened.
Oh yeah. I mean they had Mason Rudolph in there, which probably helped me because they changed their defense or offense to be pretty vanilla. So
Yeah.
they will, Levis likes to chuck it to the other team.
So.
Rudolph was not going to come in there and throw a pick.
All right. Well, hey guys, we
Yeah.
apologize. This is a long-winded intro. Wyrat Earp wins again. Dave, welcome back. I
Yeah.
know we haven't even done the awards yet.
No,
Who
let's
do you
get to it.
got? Who do you got for your Miller Time Dave Miller
So
Team of the Week?
I feel like there was, maybe some hard feelings, snubbery that thought was happening because, last week somebody got high points that I barely gave him a mention. But when you get high
Yeah.
points 2 weeks in a row, you're just like, hey, remember me? Remember Flex? Remember?
Yeah.
And, so I can't not give it to, I mean, high points 2 weeks in a row. He totally dominated our favorite person in the league. And 137 to 70.4 is a pretty bad beatdown. That's worthy of a Miller Time Team of the Week.
Yeah, and we've been saying it now for a few weeks, but the death of Travis has been highly exaggerated.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
He's fully back.
I haven't even looked to see how he did it. Like, I mean, I knew Lamar and Henry both had big weeks because I watched, or I was that was happening while I was driving, and I just kept seeing it. I don't know. I guess Jaden Reed looks like his defense. They're 24 points out of a D, but it wouldn't have mattered. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as the win, but was anybody close to him? I haven't had a chance to really look at any of this. Anybody close for high points?
Ratty 108. That's the next highest.
No, I mean that's like
Yeah.
2 positions. So, wow.
Well,
Yeah, Travis is.
and so it's fitting. Travis, well deserved, shot
yeah.
himself into first place.
Yeah.
Pre-draft, there was a couple of us that did some speculation stuff. Rennie had put Travis at the bottom of like his before anything had ever happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was just kind of his lead up to the draft, fun stuff. Then we had the draft, and there was we all kind of like did some like hierarchy, like how we saw people. And Travis was like, in some of them he was fine, and in some of them he was like down towards the bottom. Week 1, really bad. And so it was like, oh, is Travis going to be, I think ESPN maybe had Travis low. And so everybody was just like, oh, is this going to be the year? Because Travis is usually so consistent, right?
Yeah.
Is this going to be the year that Travis is going to struggle? And after week 1, everybody's buying into that. And then it was just like, no, he's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And even the first few weeks, we just kept giving somebody else a lot of benefit of the doubt, saying,
Yeah.
well, eventually he's going to
Yeah.
rise up, but it's looking pretty bleak right now.
Yeah, yeah, and looking pretty good for Travis. So, and then we kind of, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the hillbilly of the week is, we could do. I feel like if I just keep giving it to people like Junior, then it gets old, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna go to Rennie. When you lose on a Sunday night and you've got actual players playing and the other team has just a defense going, and man, and just to lose in that fashion. Not that he did anything wrong. I'm not saying Rennie
Yeah.
did anything wrong. It's just a very hillbilly way to lose.
Yeah. I
And
mean, we
and it's
both picked we both picked the wrong quarterback, but there were reasons why we did. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Now, having Rice play 2 plays and then get his knee broken half by his quarterback, that does not help you.
I'm not, I heard from a source, his name, it might have been Wyrat, might have told me this, but I think Morgan got a shot off.
Oh, is that
Hit
what
him right in the
happened?
knee. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slipped one right there on his knee. So, but yeah, I mean, but then, we both had bad running back play out of one spot. Like he got a
Yep.
1 and I got a -1. It's like, that's not good.
Yep. And, Rennie kind of wasted a great performance by Collins and a decent performance by Burrow. Yeah, you just don't. I mean, here's what's happening with Miami, unfortunately. Their offense is so bad
Yeah.
that it now affects their defense.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when you
Short
punt
fields,
yeah, yeah,
tired,
yeah.
they're back on the field like real quick.
So let's just run down these real quick.
Did you at one point, I think that game, one team was 2 for 8 and the other one was 1 for 8 on third down conversions.
Well, somebody else said it, and they said, it is so true. Like, we don't think, you want to know why you pay quarterbacks so much money. Yes, they help to winning and all those things. That game, if it wasn't for fantasy implications, was unwatchable.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't wait to switch to Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, it was
that was one of the few times I was glad there were 2 Monday night games.
terrible football game to watch. So Junior takes down undefeated Ed. Really nothing to talk about here. I mean, Ed
was it ever close?
Yeah, I mean, Junior had to come back, but he more than, I mean, Pollard got 16 points.
Okay.
So Laporta got 5, which unfortunately for tight ends this season is actually a good score. So so we'll talk more about that later. But
okay.
It's
boy, Ed is...
yeah, and Ed is all smoke and mirrors, right? We've been talking about that for a few weeks.
But I'd rather be 3-1 than 2-2.
No. He may make the playoffs. Like, he's got, if he continues to do the work, like put a team out there. Like, there's worse teams out there, but he was going to come back down to reality. He wasn't going to go undefeated with this squad.
Yeah.
Show me your TDs versus Heim Time. This was our big kind of like matchup.
Yeah.
And really kind of, you said, hey, good chance High Points comes out of here. I mean, Lee did get over 100, so good for Lee, but kind of some lackluster scores here. Both of their quarterbacks getting 11, so Jets kind of fell back to reality a little bit, and great running back scores for Lee. St. Brown has a good score, getting. We'll talk about this in a little bit. 0 from Mark Andrews, that stings. But plenty for Lee, and then for Brian, just his top scores. You could live with everything through Jefferson, and then from there down, it's just like kind of.
I really thought that Cardinal and Washington game was going to be a shootout, but it was only a one-sided.
Yeah, you would have hoped that Kyler would have got you a little bit more. I mean, he only loses by 12, but when you get 5, 4, 4, 9 out of a bunch of guys, like nobody in double digits.
He started off
5 guys
with a pretty quick passing touchdown to Harrison, if I remember, but I guess he didn't do anything else the rest of the game.
Yeah, so but both those teams I think are going to be really fine. But like you said last week, the loser ends up being at 2-2. We have a perfect bell curve in our standings right now. So Brian
he's a
finds
strong
himself,
2-2 though.
yeah, he's bunched up there with a bunch of guys.
I feel
Um,
he's a stronger 2-2 than I feel like about my squad.
yeah. You got we already talked about you beat Rennie,
Yep.
so good for you. Ratty dominating win over Andy, and man, I wonder like if Andy's going to turn around. And again, we talked about 7 points out of Josh Allen. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, he has been feast or famine, and so
But he's I mean, Buffalo's winning, right? Did they win? I don't remember.
no, they got blown out by
Okay. Well,
Baltimore.
then, yeah, that's not good. If you
Yeah.
get 7 because you hand it off to James Cook 10 times for touchdowns, then, Buffalo doesn't
Yeah.
care what his stats are.
Well,
But
and
yeah,
he got 12 total points out of his 2 running backs, and so facing Josh, who got 46, 47 points out of his 2 running backs, that's tough to deal with.
what does teaching in Harrison mean?
Why is that Andy's name?
Yeah,
Because he's playing against All Fall Weekend
but
this coming week, so
but
he's
but he
wants Junior's name to be off while teaching in Harrison.
but he doesn't teach in Harrison. Nobody
Well, he
teaches
lives
in
in
Harrison.
Harrison, but Andy doesn't know that.
Does he still live in Harrison? I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's why I was confused because he teaches in some other dumb school, right?
yeah, LaSalle or something. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
what it
that
is.
sounds dumb.
Yeah. I don't know actually which one it is. That Junior
I have no
teaches at
idea.
a school that has very low standards.
Whatever it is, they're
Yeah.
for the worst for having him.
Yes. Flex versus Red Kingdom
Man,
beatdown.
Red Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
Mahomes 16, you need, isn't horrible, but you just go up and down this line. It's a weak game from Bijan. Bijan's been doing fine, but he finally got Zamir White out of there. And he actually, I think Johnson got the first touchdown that game, but then didn't do much else. But yeah, I mean, he's got some work to do.
He's got a lot of injuries on his bench. I mean, if he can get some of these guys back, I think that he will be better. But yeah, it's gonna. I mean, here's what we know: Adam's never gonna stop working at it. So
yeah, he's got definitely has some talent on the bench. It's just whether or not they are healthy or perform. So yeah, well.
And then I played the Sundance Kid, and we had 79-90. So nothing spectacular except for Watson got carted off the field after like one play. So
really? Dang.
Yeah. So lost another wide receiver, but luckily Sam Darnold 27 points. That's the highest quarterback score I think if you combined all of my quarterback scores for the first 3 weeks. So Brennan
is he gonna stick around?
Sam Darnold?
Yeah, is he sticking around for Team Smithereens?
Oh yeah, I mean until proven otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
had a kicker that got 20 points and he still got beat.
Found a way to lose. So our standings are 3 teams at 3-1, Flex, Show Me Your TDs, and then Ed. And then we've got everybody else except for we got 3 teams at 1-3 at the bottom. That's Andy, Brennan, and Adam. Yeah. And those 3 teams are really low on points. And Andy's okay in points, but the other 2 teams are, I mean, Adam's point level is just atrocious. Yeah, so he's actually 2 games behind everybody just based on that. But it's a long way to go, but there's definitely some separating going on towards the top. I would much rather be in that 3-1 section or where Brian is at 2-2 with a lot of points than to be where maybe Junior is at 2-2. But yeah, and then just a bunch of us there stuck in the middle at 2-2, 6 of us. So, but yeah, so we're 4 weeks in,
Okay.
and so I had just kind of put together what I think are my 5 best and 5 worst picks in the draft so far.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just go over these, and we will. I'll let you. I got no input from you on
Yeah, I
this.
didn't have yeah.
Um, so where? How do I pull it up? There we go. I can. It's like this thing wanting to lock up. I'm sure it's probably gonna kill me. So as long as we keep recording, we're good. All right. So best draft pick. This is my number 1, Alvin Kamara by Lee. What do you think of that? Best pick.
Um,
He is position ranked
what
number.
standing is he in?
He is the position ranked number 1 for running backs. He got picked 42nd.
Yeah.
He's
No,
averaging
that's
22
that's a
points a game.
yeah, that's a pretty yeah. I mean, I don't know really why did we let him slip so far? Did we think he was
Wait. Nah,
like
I think just kind of there's other guys that people have been looking at
but
thinking
there
are
was
going
no
to do
reason to
better.
think that there was a committee there, not really.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like nobody took a chance on him first 3 rounds. That's
Yeah. And
good for
now,
good for
granted,
Lee.
granted, this is only through 4 weeks. Things could change, but as
Yeah.
of right now, if you were asking me best, this is production and value. You know what I mean? That's kind of
Yeah.
what we're looking at, right?
I mean, their offense looked, I mean, he did have one really big game, like that four
Yeah.
touchdown game, but probably
Um,
excused because the Saint defense or Saint offenses kind of came back down to earth a little bit. And then there's always that threat whenever Taysom's healthy that he'll steal some rushing touchdowns. So, it's not a lock that Kamara will keep this up. But yeah, I agree. For now,
yeah, I can give you that. So here it is, 17, 42, 12, and 17. So
okay. No,
it it
that's
it is skewed by the 42, but it's also pretty consistent in the fact of being like over 17 points a game. And he didn't get picked until, what is that, late in the 3rd round?
it was no, because he picked 3 wide receivers first. It had to be fourth
Yeah,
round.
4th round, 4th round. Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's the math for me. Not good at it. Okay. My second best draft pick so far. And I tried to look to make sure these weren't like you were saying, like somebody who just had like 50 points in a week and then
Yeah,
like hasn't done anything.
like that Juwan
Um,
Jennings guy.
Jaden Reed by flex. He is the number 2 wide receiver right now, drafted 100th by Travis, averaging 15 points a game.
Okay.
Wide receivers are averaging way less than running backs. We could talk about that more too if you wanted to, but so 15.2 points a game. Man, what a value pick.
Do you have his weeks up? Because I
Uh,
was
I,
wondering how he did without Love compared to with Love.
yeah, I can tell you I have them here so that I can pull them up quickly for you. So 29,
Yeah, the with Love.
4.6, 6.9, and then 20. So
Okay, so
it's not
Love,
quite
no
as
love, no love, love.
yeah. So it's not quite as good as it is, but we're in half the games he's played in, he
Yeah,
scored over 20 points a
and
game.
half the
So
games he's had Love, and Love's back, so it's you've managed to get through that time. No, that's yeah. I mean, there's there are a
yeah,
lot of wide receivers picked that
yeah. I mean,
before
if right
him.
now in 4 weeks you said, hey, 2 weeks you're going to get under 10, but in 2 of the weeks you're going to get 50,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
probably going to be like, yeah, I'll take those two
I
weeks.
think we talked
So,
about this last time. Like, would you rather have
yeah,
or
yeah.
last year or
I
one
think I
year?
would want somebody who's going to get more consistent. I don't want those zilches, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I think that at least, you know, we'll see. And I think that he's going to have more value going forward. So again, people can disagree. Leave a comment in the chat. Love to hear what you think. Third, David Montgomery,
okay.
Rennie. He's the number 68th drafted player. He's position rank 7 for running backs, averaging Rennie 15 points per game. One
And
of the things.
is he still higher than Gibbs? I would assume. Like total points.
Let's see here. He had it's been so one of the things about Montgomery for me was that his consistency.
Oh, yeah.
15, 13, 18, and 14.
Yeah. Ooh, I'd take that any day.
so that's been pretty good. And then do you remember when Gibbs was drafted?
Before him, I assume.
Way high, right? Like at the top, right? He was like Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted 8th.
Yeah.
He's position ranked number 8, so he's just behind Montgomery, and his numbers are 13, 10, 16, and 19. Yeah. So not terrible, but he was drafted 8th. You would expect.
If you could, you get him the same player, basically the same production that many rounds later. Right. I think that's I'm sure, this was probably the most of us thought, or the pundits or whatever you call it, there's going to be a bigger separation between touches for Gibbs this year, but they've kept it pretty even, or maybe Montgomery's just made use of it and gotten the goal lines or something. I don't know. Yeah, that was we all screwed up on that one.
Yeah. So number 4, this is Rennie again, and this is why he's having some success. Nico Collins, drafted 29th. He is the number 1 wide receiver, averaging 15.2 points a game, and his weekly average, what just happened? His average is 11, 19, 8, and 21. So one stinker, but the rest pretty good. And to be ranked number 1, wide receiver numbers are just down across the board. I mean, he's the number 1 wide receiver, averaging 15 points. The number 1 running back is averaging 22.4 points for the number 1 position. So that just gives you a little context. But I think that for value pick, that Rennie was able to get him in the 3rd round. Anytime you can, in the 3rd round, get the number 1 guy at a position, that's pretty good value.
I think we talked about this early on, that, we wondered if any one of those Houston guys would be able to emerge, because they had so many people. And obviously Collins said, okay, I'm your guy. Everybody else can get the scraps. So far, he's been the go-to guy. But I didn't know if it'd be more. We talked about it being more of a spread out kind of thing. Yeah. But maybe some of that, with Nick, maybe he doesn't get as many touches if Mixon stays healthy and they move the ball differently.
Yeah. Well, Schultz, we've got 10 more regular season games for all this to flesh out, and it can change. But as of right now, you'd be pretty happy with that. And that's 2 guys that Rennie's got that are averaging. I mean, just look at this: between Montgomery and Collins, that's 30 points every game that Rennie gets. That's half of Adams' points for the first 4 games.
Yeah. Wow.
So, number 5, best draft pick. I got to go with Dave Miller, Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Draft place 133. He's the number 4 ranked quarterback, averaging 25 points a game. I know that you were hoping you wouldn't have to use him, but I don't even know if Jordan Love was playing every week, if there would have come a time where you just said, man, I got to put him in.
I don't think I would have. I can't imagine, other than Love was healthy this week, but I didn't know how healthy, because they really didn't tell us much about, and I didn't know what he was going to do coming back from an injury. And so I was scared to play him, but it turned out it was the wrong play, but Jaden did good enough to get me the win. But I don't normally pick, when I pick high, if I pick what I thought would be a franchisee kind of quarterback, I don't pick a second quarterback, but this year I did.
Well, you got him in the 12th round.
Yeah.
Any team that doesn't have Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen would probably start him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and
no, I'm thrilled that I went with a second quarterback, and he's gotten me a couple wins.
Yeah, I mean, the top two quarterbacks are Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Neither one of those guys were even drafted.
Yeah.
So the only person that is that would be above you would be somebody like Josh Allen, which was taken much earlier
Yeah.
than
Well,
where
and
you're
if I
at.
hadn't picked him, somebody else would have picked him up after that big giant performance, probably. His
Right.
like last week we got like a big score, and then I would have had to pick from who's left, and I
Yep.
might have done what you did in 1 week, picked the wrong guy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get to our worst. The worst kept secret in all of fantasy football. The worst pick of the draft. Christian
uh,
McCaffrey by Junior, picked first. Position rank not
I,
available. Average
I think.
score not available.
Do you think next year that the number one pick will be like it'll go pretty far before somebody actually chooses that?
Before
Because we
somebody
get to
wants the one
well,
pick.
because we get to pick it, and
Yeah.
so I don't remember what pick Junior was, but he chose it. He wasn't number 12 and was left with
Right.
it
Yeah.
because I mean last year number one pick got hurt pretty early, and I mean, it's just kind of happened here. It's been it. I mean I don't. I'd have to look at back at a couple years, but I mean when is the number one pick done good all year?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just stinks. Like,
Yeah.
especially if all this stuff was known, and we drafted a week before game started, but like you didn't know until the day of the game that he wasn't going to play.
No,
Um,
they hid.
and
I
he's been
think
dealing with
they.
this stuff forever, so it's just a real weird thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and now is there? I haven't even seen. Has there been any news on it?
Not much.
Okay.
So whether he plays this season is still up in the air.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's
number
tough for.
num number two worst pick. This breaks my heart. Puka Nakua, drafted 19th, and position rank 111th, and scored 4.2 points before being carted off the field. Now, silver lining, he might come back,
Is it any
but
news on that front?
just that it won't be until November if he
Okay.
does. So.
Yeah.
I think they got a buy coming up and then something else. So they're just saying probably they're being cautious.
Yeah.
So which just stinks. And with a team like the Rams, they have other guys too. And so then you come back and it's like, I don't know. He like all that magic that he had last year. You just wonder if somebody ever comes back and they're the same because he kind of came out of nowhere and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, was he a great feel good story for 1 year and then like,
And if Cup comes back first and starts getting more rapport,
which they say he will, like Cup's
okay.
probably coming back or before
And that
Nakua will.
Atwell
So
kid's looking fine, and Demarcus Robinson is
yeah,
serviceable. It's like they don't need to rush him back. I mean,
right, yeah.
so yeah, bad
So
pick.
yep. Especially when you think that like at that pick, you could have taken Nico Collins or any number of other wide receivers
Yeah.
that are doing much better, right? Way more consistent. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then number three,
It could be
Tyreek
this
Hill.
guy though.
What's that? Yeah. Brennan, drafted number two, position ranked 28th,
Yeah.
but it averaging 7.7 points, and his
Yeah.
stock is only going down.
Yeah, that's it's almost worse that he's still playing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what else are you gonna do but play him? Although I felt like I mean, I'm doing the same thing with Waddle. I haven't dropped him yet, but I might as well because I can't fathom putting him in the lineup.
Well, so it's funny. So I'm in just a fun little family league, and then Jack and some of his friends, and I think I said it on here a couple weeks ago. Like Josh Rademacher's two sons are in there, and so there's a 10 of us. So it's only a 10-person league, and I took Hill first in that league,
Yeah.
and I haven't. played him. I didn't play him last week, and I won't play him. That like he's
Yeah,
unplayable.
no.
In that league because it has a flex and it has other things, so I can like there's all kinds of different options. It's like, man, why would I play him?
I feel like a lot of this is on the Dolphin, just their like Tua had that history, right?
You
How
got
do
to
you
have a good
not
backup.
have a backup that is a veteran that can get those guys the
Could you
ball?
imagine if they had Flacco as a backup
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys that
or Dalton?
Flacco,
Somebody that could just
Dalton.
throw the ball down the field to a guy like Tyreek or Waddle.
Yeah, I mean that.
Well, it's
I mean they.
affected week 1 with Tua with all the weapons. Achan's a stud.
Yeah.
After that, can't play him
Yeah,
anymore.
if I were Mostert, I'd be like, yeah, I ain't coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still hurt.
Yeah. So Tyreek Hill, number 3, worst pick. Number 4, this kind of stinks for Andy.
Yeah.
AJ Brown,
I've seen nothing on him either. Like, what's he?
Yeah, number 11 draft pick,
Jeez.
position rank 63rd. Good news is he's averaging 17.9 points per game, but he's only played in one game.
Yeah, and I think I mean, it's affected. Those Eagles have just not been flying without him and Devontae. Not good.
Yeah, and so when you look at so Junior struggling, well, you pick your first pick hasn't done anything. Like that's going to hurt you, right? He didn't get his next pick until 24 picks later. So that's going to affect your team. Brennan, Tyreek Hill, number 2 pick, get you really, not what you would expect out of a number 2 pick. And so that's affected his team. Andy started out week 1 really well, 17.9 out of AJ Brown. That helps, right? Now not getting, any points out of your number 11 first round draft pick. That stinks. So yeah. And then Lee's been able to weather this, but number 5, Mark Andrews, drafted 55th, position rank 42nd, average score 1.6. And I know if you're watching this and you're thinking like, Kevin, what's your criteria? Travis Kelce was picked before him.
Yeah.
And Travis has not been great.
No.
Hear me. But he's been better than Mark Andrews has been.
Yeah.
None of these guys have touchdowns. I mean, there's so many guys. But honestly, like, Travis has been average for what the average tight end is doing. Like, Laporta is doing okay. Like, there's like the number 1 guy is like somebody who just had like one huge game and then like hasn't done anything since then.
Well, I think Goddard right now has the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Goddard.
That's just been mostly yards.
Yeah.
And that's probably because he's the only guy running routes for the Eagles.
And so Mark Andrews is just been atrocious, you know what I mean? And then even like week 1, likely did well, but then after that, like they just haven't been throwing to tight ends.
Yeah.
And
well, of this list, I don't think, I think obviously McCaffrey and Nacua, they're probably going to be mainstays. If we say, okay, 4 weeks from now, let's relook at this list. Those 2 will probably still be on it because they probably won't have played any.
Yeah.
There's a chance that they work out the quarterback thing and get better. Brown could come back and Andrews could start playing better. And if those 3 happens, or if 2 of them start playing well, then there's a good chance in 4 weeks my 13th player picked, Pachinko, could make this list.
Well, he was on mine. I don't have it in front of me. I took some notes as I was doing some stuff. As you think about injuries and stuff like that, Pachinko, now that he's hurt, definitely comes in. But there's some guys that have just underperformed as well that just, haven't done well, that, you thought, oh, from like where they were drafted and what you would just expect for them, Kittle is the number 1 tight end right now, I think. And a lot of that is from I believe where he's high, and
because I did
One or
update
two.
when I was like I was riding in the car and
Oh yeah.
I updated it, and unless I looked at it wrong, I thought Goddard was
Maybe he is. Maybe I didn't have him because he wasn't drafted.
who Goddard?
Yeah, let me see
No, I
here.
drafted him. Yeah, it's close. It's Goddard has 30.1 and Kittle has 28.1. They're like right neck and neck.
Okay. So, and maybe I took Goddard out of my list because all of them came in like 1 week,
Um,
or I don't know. I can't remember. I was doing this earlier, and so I had
well,
like taken
I'm
some.
not arguing that he would be in the top five.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, but he's been fine. But yeah. So is that your list? 5 and 5?
That's my list. Yeah. Do you have any comments or anything that you would have changed? I know
No,
you
no.
didn't.
I mean, I didn't really have a chance to dig into it too much, but
No, yeah, yeah.
you
They
want to be on the first
Goddard
list, you don't
had
want to be
three
on the second. I
points.
know that.
Goddard had 3 points, 3.8 points, 17 points, and then 6.2 points. So
Yeah,
my point was like, as
that's
I was
true.
looking at that, that was all of that came in
And
1 week.
yeah,
Other than
and
that, he's
that's true.
averaging like 4 points a game.
But
So Kittle's numbers, on
I
the other
think with
hand,
yeah,
Kittle's numbers
Goddard's in a
are,
position where he's like one of the only guys running routes right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But just for context, Kittle, 4 points week 1, which isn't great, but then 13 and then 10, and he didn't play a week. So his average is actually higher.
I see.
He's only played 3 of the 4 weeks though. So
Mm,
doesn't matter. Tight ends are not doing well this season. That
no.
was that was just a point that
Well, and
that I was going to
I
make.
mean,
And so
I have another guy that could end up because I picked Ingram higher than Goddard, and he's been hurt the whole time. So, and I thought he was going to be like a touchdown machine. I kind of hoped he would be, but he
yeah.
hasn't played.
Um, so we've got some matchups coming up for the next week. We've got unfortunately for Ed, he plays Brian, and now
So this is our first round of bye weeks. So obviously
yeah,
that's going to factor into some people. So right now
yeah,
you're looking, there's a lot of teams,
that haven't filled out their lineup.
besides Adam that don't have full lineups for reasons for bye weeks. So, and some of us have to have some work to do just to fill out a lineup.
Yeah. Good news for Brian is if he pays attention, Saquon's on bye, but he's got several running backs that
Oh,
can
yeah.
fill that spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for him.
No, he's fine. He's got people that we would start that he's had on his bench every week.
So, looking like Brian probably has more firepower than Ed in this one, but you never know until they play football. So,
Yeah.
Adam gets a chance for a win here because he's playing against Brennan, and I would say just looking down the lineup, wow, Adam's got everybody on his bench.
A stern talking to is happening right now.
Yes, yes. I hope he doesn't travel off to Hilton Head, where he said he was going to, and forget to fill out his lineup.
Oh, that would be a bummer.
Although, now I want to, if he's going to get his losses, I want him to come legit. I don't need him getting his losses the way that Ed gets his. So Adam, fill out your lineup, and then we'll see how you do against Brennan. But I like your chances of going 2 and 3 versus.
Yeah. And if this would be one of the rare times where we're like, hey, if some of us 2 and 2 people want to try to rise up, we want one of those 3 and 1 guys to lose. So Adam, hey, we're rooting for you.
Yeah, he's playing against Brennan. Brennan's 1 and 3 as well.
That's true. So either one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's going to dig themselves into a deeper hole. So then we've got Andy playing against Off While What's he saying? What's his
Drowning
team?
his boats, drowning
Drowning
his
his
boats.
boats. Drowning his boats. Yep.
A little play on
Yeah.
words because Andy's was the boat
Carrying the boats.
carrying the boats, but he's not been carrying them for a while.
No, no.
1-3, man.
Yeah.
Man, we were high on his team too for after week
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Well, he's got Josh Allen, which he can turn things around. I
Yeah,
think that, I mean, and he's got ETN, who last year was a workhorse,
yeah.
but Jacksonville has just imploded this season. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got Keenan Allen. He's got George Kittle, who's the number 2
Two, yeah.
tight end. But like I said, tight end scoring's been down a little bit. So I don't know. I think Andy has a bounce back week. You give me Josh Allen over Junior's team. I think Josh Allen several weeks would score more than Junior scored. So
Yeah.
but we'll see. Next, we've got the Battle of Best Friends. We've got Ratty without Jalen Hurts versus Flex, who is fully loaded. So,
And is Taylor banged up? Did I see that?
he is. He's questionable right
Okay.
now, and so is Neighbors questionable.
I
So
didn't
that
see
would
what
hurt.
happened to Taylor
That
in
would
that
hurt
game.
Josh. Also, Dave, you were just mentioning this earlier. Doesn't look to me like Josh has a quarterback on his bench. So you tell me who's out there for Josh to pick up.
Well, you've scavenged
Every
seems like
quarterback known to man.
mo-
So he could pick
most
up
of the
Caleb Williams.
yeah, he could. He could pick up, well, I mean, my guy, Justin Fields, who I really thought I would start at least once this season because I thought, I
Yeah.
figured there would be a
Did you have
scenario where I keep Love and
did you
then
have three
Williams.
quarterbacks on your bench on
No,
your
no,
roster at one time? Or are
no,
you
I
just
have
saying you
not
like
picked the.
Justin Fields?
I just figured there'd be a scenario. I was in my head. I'm like, you know what? I picked in this Jaden Williams guy. He's a rookie. He's probably gonna not be that great. I'm gonna end up dropping him when my bye week comes around with Love. I'm gonna have to pick somebody up. I can't help myself. I'll probably pick up Justin Fields. So I figured I would start him. Now I hope I don't. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's right there. Caleb Williams. I mean, Goff has been Detroit. Oh no, Goff's on bye, so he's not an option. I mean, Geno had 395 passing yards.
Yeah. He could pick up the red rifle.
He could. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
plenty of options.
all right. Well, good luck, Josh, picking up a quarterback. We've got licking his wounds. We got Bros before Hose playing Show Me Your TDs, and
Ouch.
I do not think that Rennie's going to get quite as much compassion from Lee. I mean, you gave him a
Yeah.
chance. I don't think that Lee's going to do that. Although Lee's got
Yeah.
to replace St. Brown in his lineup because he's on bye.
Yeah.
So, and he can't play Devontae. He's got no one right now.
So he's gonna be picking up. He's probably gonna drop Joshua Palmer, who's done nothing.
He's probably gonna pick up. Is it Leggett? Is that who he's gonna try to go after? That's the guy that everybody's talking about.
Possibly, or Devontae Adams will get traded before Sunday and decide to play.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't see him suiting up this weekend, but next weekend I think he could probably be a Jet. He could obviously be a Saint. I saw
This is
Pittsburgh
one of
as an
those
option.
savvy things where he picked up that Trey Tucker kid, played him, and he got a touchdown, and he's probably gonna be de facto number, or at least one or two.
Yeah.
I think they got that other. They got another wide receiver, but I mean Tucker seems to be getting the touchdown. So
Yeah.
and if Devontae goes to a good place, that could really jump his stock up.
Yeah. Well, and then so Rennie's under in the early buys, and he's got to already make the unfortunate decision where so Montgomery's on buy. We just talked about what a steal in the draft he was, so he doesn't get to play
Okay.
him. Rice is out,
Yeah.
and then he's got a kicker that is on buy, so he's got to drop somebody on his team, which he can. He's got this Trey Benson that he can get rid of.
And
But
he
he's got,
already dropped the kicker.
yeah, but he's got
So
picks. Oh, he dropped his kicker
yeah,
already. That's
it
what
was.
okay,
I like
there
when
he is.
people do that. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna wait for a drop ad. I don't want this to even look at this guy's name.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
dropping him. It makes no
Yeah.
difference,
Right.
and it puts him on waivers for the same amount of time, I think. But I just love I love the show of it.
Yeah.
He's not
So
the only one that's done that. I think you've
yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
So is that all of our matchups, Dave?
Yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. No, it's not.
Oh, is it
We got
possible that we're gonna have a Y-Rat Herb versus Rip?
Yeah, we're both 2-2. I
Who's
got you
gonna
by a smidgen of points.
who's showing up in a cowboy hat next week?
I know. I feel like I've gotten some gift wins, 2 in a row that were kind of, so I don't know. And
Dave, you don't have your full lineup filled out.
that's because I don't have anybody to put in. I got a lot of work to do. It's, I plan ahead for things
Yeah.
for bye weeks, but when you're 0-2, you can't plan ahead. I'm just picking up for that week. I don't have the luxury of dropping people and planning 2 weeks ahead like I normally do. And so no, I got a kick, which I'm kind of glad it happened at this time because I'm done with it with the Philly kicker because
Yeah.
they're not scoring points. They go for it on
They
fourth
go for it
down.
on fourth down all the time.
Yeah, so I'm done with him anyway. So I'm glad I'm picking up a different kicker. He's getting dropped. You good luck if anybody picks him up. And then defense, I've been streaming all season, so that's not a big surprise. So I got to find a defense. Do I have 3 spots?
You got 2. Just
Yeah,
your.
well, I don't know if Ingram's going to play.
Okay.
So he hasn't played since week 1. So
Yeah.
I might have to pick up a tight end. And if I do, then I don't want to drop any of those of anybody else besides. Well, I could probably get rid of Gus Edwards, but
Yeah.
No, I got some work to do. The thing is, I hate using waiver spots on kickers and defenses, so I might just wait till I don't know. We'll see if I put him. I'll look. I haven't had a chance to even look and see who's out there, who I might want, and if there's somebody that catches my fancy, I'll pick them up. But I'm not even really convinced that my third wide receiver is going to stay in there but everybody else is on bye except for Waddle, and I'm not playing Waddle. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do, Kevin, but whatever it is, that's going to put up a fight against your guys.
Yeah. You think Joe Mixon's going to play this week? He hasn't played so far, but they're saying he's going to come back and play.
Okay. So if he does, it's not like Akers played so well that he demands a bunch of touches.
Yeah, but you never like to be in a situation. I mean, people know Akers, and he did, I don't know. It's just, I hate guys missing, and he had such a great week 1, and then he misses 2 weeks. And so it's like, ugh. And then, like I said, I got Achane, who ESPN keeps saying, oh, he's going to get this. It's like, there ain't no way in the world he's going to get that many points.
What algorithm they're looking at. They must not have been watching those games.
No, there's no way. He's just not scoring a touchdown. And then I'm fortunate because I have sneaky, honorable mention, pretty good draft pick, Brian Robinson Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Drafted, what I drafted him? 67th. He's the number 11 running back, but he's been super consistent. 14, 13, 9, 17.
Yeah. And that's
one
of the reasons why.
That was supposed to be my number 3 running back,
yeah.
But luckily, since Mixon's been gone, and then with now Achane being on a dumpster fire of a team, I'm like, I don't even know how I play Achane. So there's that. My wide receivers are a mess. Tank Dell just coming back, but Nico Collins getting all the touches, right?
Yeah.
And Houston hasn't been scoring the way that people like the way they were last year. So Houston's just been struggling a little bit. CJ hasn't been doing nearly what he was doing last year. Houston needs to step it up a little bit. That would help Tank Dell, but it would also help Mixon if he's going to be there to run the ball. I've got Tutu Atwell because I got to have a Rams wide receiver with Puka being gone, and but the Rams haven't been doing great with missing key guys. So
If
my
Gabe
only
Davis is
hope.
healthy, are you tempted to play him?
Who's that?
Gabe on your bench?
Well, I had been because he had been doing well, but then let me tell you
Yeah.
what he did this past week, Dave, while you were gone. He got negative 0.2 points against Houston.
That's
So
not good.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you had a running back do that, but
Yeah, I did.
yeah, he
The guy
wasn't
I
in my
used a number
lineup.
one
But I
waiver
was
spot on.
like, oh, Gabe Davis, like he's been doing actually pretty well for Jacksonville. No, he didn't do well. So, like I said, with Love coming back and then Christian Watson, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be so good. And he plays like 3 plays and then he's out of the game. So,
Well, we'll see. We're both got some decisions and work. Part of the reason why I have Love in there right now is because I was envisioning a scenario where I play, Daniels and Robinson gets all the points, and it's like a double whammy against me. So
oh yeah. So you play Daniels. He throws the ball no times. He hands the ball
yeah.
to Robinson every time, and then yeah, that
So
sounds
if
wonderful.
the opposite happens, if I don't play Daniels and he, and Robinson gets no rushing touchdowns,
And he throws for a crazy amount of
at
touchdowns.
least all those
At
points are
least,
on my bench
yeah,
and not in
yeah,
your pocket.
yeah,
But I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I don't
So,
like having two good quarterbacks. I
oh
usually
man,
don't.
you're a brave guy though, because I couldn't imagine being in a scenario probably where I would be like, oh, I'm gonna bench the hottest quarterback in football. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I know. I don't. I mean, what do you? But I'm the the guy that I benched last week got 39 points.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
I know.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
And
So these
there's, I mean, NFL has been surprising. Like, when you look at Kansas City just continues to find a way to win.
yeah,
Philly fall off. Buffalo was rolling, and then they end up playing Baltimore and just get steamrolled.
yeah,
Um, who knows what'll happen in Cincy against Baltimore? Like, I mean, you could tell me that the Bengals get blown out, and I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense.
yeah,
You could tell me that Bengals win a close win and play so well because they play to the level of their competition. I could be like, where's this Bengals team been all season, right? It's like
yeah.
you just never know what's going to happen with any of these teams. I was watching McAfee, and they were talking. They were like, why is a guy like Joe Flacco not get the opportunity to start before the season starts? Everybody knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
And the reason he got moved out of Cleveland is because they didn't want a quarterback controversy. They knew that they're already paying all that money to Watson, so they're
Yeah.
not gonna, do that. But it's like there were teams that want to win now who have young quarterbacks that could have brought him in to probably start and mentor a guy. That's why Indy brought him in, because they know that their quarterback's like injury prone. But
I
like, but to think that you could have brought him into some places that where he could have played. I mean, you could have put him in. Obviously, you could have put him in North Carolina. You could have put him in several other places where it's
yeah.
like, I don't know.
I don't think Indy wins that game if Richardson doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, it's so interesting
Yeah. Like
because
that was
I
the
mean,
best thing to happen because he came in and just moved the ball and Richardson does like he turns it over. But he's got all the talent in the world. He's
well,
definitely more athletic.
he has all the athleticism in the world,
Yeah.
and he has glimpses, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's these prototypical quarterbacks now that are coming out that run 4.3 40s and that can stand back and throw the ball 60 yards, right? Like he's got a cannon for an arm, but there's just something about a guy like Flacco, just like his calm demeanor. He
Yeah.
can still throw a deep ball. He's accurate. I mean, which is like when Dalton came in for Carolina,
Yeah.
not against the Bengals so much
He looked
because I think
fine against the Bengals.
he did okay. He had a
Yeah.
couple Dalton moments, right? That flutter ball, and then a couple, They went for it on fourth down several times where the Bengals got big stops, which was good. It wasn't necessarily Dalton's fault, but in the game that they won, the first game where they played, dude, he just throws a really accurate football, and so there's something to be said for that, like Caleb Williams right now. I think that's the separation between like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams is that Williams just been really inconsistent, and we're like when he played against the Bengals, dude, I've never seen a rookie put balls in some of those places like now. Some of those wide receivers were wide open. Yeah. I mean, that's part of it, but that throw to the corner that he made, like there's like maybe we just chalk it up to luck, but it's like who makes that throw?
Well, I mean, watching Hard Knocks, I bought into the Chicago, or else I wouldn't have drafted, DJ Moore and Swift both, thinking that Chicago was going to have a decent offense.
I put him as the over Cousins. I put him as the starting quarterback because I was like, oh, dude, he's going to come in week one just slinging that thing, and if he doesn't, he's going to tuck it and run. They got all these offensive weapons, right? Like the only thing that's been holding them back has been quarterback play, and then he hasn't looked. I mean, he's looked okay since week one or week two, but first 2 weeks were just a train wreck.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Kevin, I don't wish you luck.
Yeah, I do not wish you luck.
No.
May the best podcaster win, Dave.
There we go. I feel better about possibility of being 2-3 than 1-4. Because that's where I thought I was going to be heading into with playing you, but so yeah, I mean, I'm on borrowed time right here, so playing
that Tennessee defense stole a win for you.
Yeah.
And that plus your big score that you had the week before, like that's season changing. Like because if you were 1-3 down with the other guys and Rennie's 3-1, you know what I mean, up with everybody else, like that totally changes the narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, Rennie would have separated himself with the top 4 guys, and you would have been down with 4 guys at 1-3, and then we would have been like, hey, for all intents and purposes, this might be the playoff. You know what I mean? Like this might be it.
So, hey, another week.
Can you believe we're 4 weeks in though?
I know, it's crazy. But,
week 5 kicking in right now. So
starts tomorrow.
This is where the Bengals start their playoff push. Got their first win out under their belt. Now we beat Baltimore, and we start working towards getting to the NFC or the AFC North.
Yeah, I mean, none of the other teams, look like dominant. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. So
yeah. Henry looks dominant.
Yeah. But we need to go back to that game script of when they lost. Like, what did the other teams do to stop them both?
Yeah. So
that first run he did, I saw the replay of it. How's it like him and Metcalf? I don't understand how guys that big run that fast. Like I wouldn't even dream of trying to tackle those guys.
You wouldn't. Their thighs would hit your arm and just like
they just don't even look human running that fast, that big. And they run straight up like old Dickerson used to. Just try to stop me.
Did you get to see the Bengals game before you left?
No, I left early.
Did you get to see the replay of Jamar Chase's touchdown?
Did he just have one?
No, he had several, but one of them was a long one. He squirted out of several tackles, and then he broke it to the outside, and then just streaked down the side. Look it up; it's pretty cool.
Okay.
He doesn't Henry somebody.
I saw the points for Burrow going up, against me, and thinking I was dead.
Yeah. So, All right, we better end this thing.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh,
We've been on here too long, just yapping. That's what
yep.
happens. So thanks guys for watching. Good luck this week, and we'll see you later. Okay. May the best cowboy win.